Welcome to another edition of Swim Easy Speed. Today we're going to look at the American record from, it was Gretchen Walsh. Just happened here in November at a meet, and we'll go through it. So what I'm going to do is just let you watch the video of the 100 butterfly. You can take a look, and then what we'll do is I'll do some analysis with some software so we can get a little bit more into the nitty gritty of, how many strokes she took, what her distance per stroke cycle was, what her splits looked like, and get a better understanding of, how you go in American record. So here we go. Okay, and we're back. And so what we want to do is we're just going to start the video again. We'll break it down piece by piece. So they'll basically jump into the water right after I start the video here. So just pay attention. So here you go, off, and she's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right up at 15 meters. So what we can see is, so if we go down here and start to look at the data, so it looks like, she was 13.97 yards. And to the breakout, she was carrying quite a bit of velocity. Tempo was, for this first 25, was about 1.82. She was getting about 4.58 yards per stroke cycle. And she was 6.49 seconds to the 15 meter split. And, this was the one where she got closest to the 15 meter split. So you can see, her head breaks that surface right before she gets to that 15 meters. So took every little bit that she could and has 1, 2, 3, 4 strokes. So, and then basically 9.91 was her first 25. And, here's the one thing that I'd comment on is, the rules are the rules, but, when we're taking, it looks like she got 4 strokes the first 25, 4 the second, 5 the third, and then 4 the fourth. So she took a total of 17 strokes for a 100-yard swim. And, basically went to almost the 15-meter mark. So, that much of the pool right there through the whole thing. And at this point, we're getting to the point where the majority of the race then is just underwater dolphin kick. And I think that probably needs to be addressed where, you effectively have now 3 strokes. So butterfly, backstroke, and freestyle that are impacted by this, where you can do a big chunk of the race underwater dolphin kick and set American records. And I think Leon Marchand just did it. I'll have to look up the video, but I think he did it as well in the 500, where a good chunk of the 500 that he set, I think it was might have been the NC2A record in the 500 free. But anyway, where a good chunk of it's just underwater, doing underwater dolphin kick. And, I'd rather see kind of athletes be tested on, hey, are you really good on this stroke? Are you really good on that stroke? And not just who's the best underwater dolphin kicker. I think it's probably gone a little bit too far and gotten where that's too much of the race now. Because you figure, 17 strokes for butterfly, where it's more than 60% of the race is underwater dolphin kick now at this point. But hey, that's my little rant. So 9.91 for the first 25. So as we're coming back, what we can see is, here she comes up. She doesn't quite get to 15 meters coming back this time. And, what we can see is, her tempo sped up a little bit on the second 25. So it's 2.3, or excuse me, slowed down a little bit. So she's 2.3. She's getting more distance per stroke cycle. Her split to the 15 meter was a little bit slower. And then, yards a second is about 2.1. She was about 2 seconds slower for the second 25. So you figure a lot of that's probably the start. And then goes back. We're on the third 25. Again, this is the one we're going to take 5 strokes. And you can see her breakout, she went to about 14.8 yards. So let's see. Slowing down, definitely. We get out to the breakout and she comes up a little bit sooner, so this looks like I'm off by a little bit. So underwater velocity slowing down a little bit. She's starting to get a little bit tired. Tempo got a little bit quicker on this 25. And, 12.5 was the split on this. So, getting a little bit more tired. But she is holding pace, especially considering, when you figure the last 25, she's carrying the most fatigue, especially when, 60% of this race has been underwater. So there she comes up, gets back on track a little bit in terms of getting closer to that 15-meter mark. And then finally finishes in 12.97. So, we had basically she was getting a little bit slower with each 25. So the fatigue was definitely building. Tempo went from 1.82, 2.3, 2.02, and then really picked it up again for the last 25, and then got back down to that 4 strokes. So, you can definitely see where there's still some room for improvement. She probably can, if she could work on maybe getting out to 15 meters on each one, particularly it looks like on that third 25, there might be a little bit more time in there for her. And, you can always get better. Even when you set the American record, you can always get better. But, nonetheless, 47:35 is a ridiculously fast time for a 100 butterfly. So, as always, thank you for tuning in. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, and I hope to see you in the pool soon.